The power of Azamina is really showcasing just how much trouble the meta is in. Make sure you guys smash the like button, crap out of that subscribe button so you guys don't miss out on more honest content. So we have our breakdown here for the new week of the OCG meta. And Tenpai still is running this massive, crazy OTK train on the format. I mean, this is what happens when you leave a deck unchecked, like Tenpai, that is able just to generate through these huge, not really care boards and go, A tier is Fiendsmith and Azamina everywhere. The fact that, Rescue Ace still was able to adapt this stuff. They're the master of two monsters. Full combo. Azamina still dominating a lot of craziness. And actually, Runic starting to shine back through here. Again, as an anti-meta force, which is kind of crazy. B tier is not looking the greatest right now with Memento and Yubel kind of running it. And then what also appears, we've got some interesting innovations in the C and D tier. Labyrinth kind of showing back up out of nowhere. Tier getting a case to re-enter back into the spotlight. The very few gimmick puppet players that are still trying to hold on. Mermail has been a pretty interesting presence, along with Novox and friends. Yes, Voiceless Voice is still here. You also do see Infernoid. I mean, hey, when Infernoid high rolls, the deck just does what it needs to do. You also do have the power of Chimera Fiendsmith, of course, Centurion, Thunder Dragons, and even like Evil Twin Fiendsmith. Okay, well, let's pass on over to the interesting list. So, Tenpai has evolved in such a crazy way here that they're actually main decking the Heat Waves. We've reached the point in the meta now where Heat Wave, you have the Dominus traps to kind of assist you. This deck is actually kind of looks like a very scary thing now. Also playing Instant Fusion for Mud Dragon to get that extra layer of protection so you don't lose to the randomness of things that your opponent might be trying to set up as an obstacle for you. That's very, very important. Okay. We also have Rescue Ace, Double Bonfire. I love that even though you've been shaving down the consistency on the fire package, that this deck is just finding ways to go about it. You do see that the Fiendsmith package is really shining in here because of Dicer Ice. Being able to set up that negate, you're able to go through so many monsters with this deck that it doesn't really, I guess, wholeheartedly matter with what's going on. So I find that all very interesting just to see how that's going. All right, we also have your Snake Eyes Azamina Fiendsmith package. I also love the fact, everybody's looking at the Fiendsmith stuff like, oh, this is so expensive. The OCG builds have just cut down on the Fiendsmith. You just opt to play the one, and you just achieve basically the same results. Of course, the Azamina package just getting you to crazy negates. Yeah, this is going to be such a big problem. Also, the fact this build is playing the Scythe Lock is very, very cute. Good thing it's banned here. Next up is Ukalonix and Friends. Yes, you are doing Azamina with full Fire King package extended out. Ukalonix is that missing fire card whose job is to make this deck slightly more consistent, and personally I feel like the deck does it pretty well. You just want to make sure that you have that extra lining synergy so you can get through things. You do see that this build is actually side decking the Fool Warsos as well. Okay. Runic, main decking Triple Grave of the Super Ancient Organism. We've kind of reached that point that you don't really have a choice. You kind of have to rely on being able to jam out your opponent's big cards. And not only that, but I mean, it's a walking, talking floodgate as well. Considering current card design, Organism being that card is really good. You also see the Dimensional Fissures in here for the additional floodgates since we are lacking, skill drain value. Thank you, ban list. We also have Memento sporting off more of this goblin stuff. The fact that, you're able to bring out the goblin calligrapher to kind of help out the deck is actually really, really cool. I also see we are playing the Herald down here, which is actually kind of interesting. You do see the triple Fuawarso down here in the side deck. So, if you're high rolling the Maxi stuff and, you've already got your board going, seems pretty good. And of course, we actually have a main deck trap card here. Okay, well, that's a change of pace for sure. Next up here, We have, oh man, Yubel is in such a interesting position. You do see that we are doing the 2 Fiendsmith, the 1 Lacrimo, so once again, I feel like that's going to be your standard ratios going forward. So many people just look at that, they're like, yeah, this is the optimization. You want to make sure that you're able to kind of cut down that fat. And, once you start messing around with the numbers and the ratios, I think it works out. You do see the Angel of Blue Tears down here. I also do see we are citing our Unchained Trap card instead of main decking it. That's always weird to see. Okay, next up here, we have Labyrinth Fiendsmith with triple Power Sync Stone. The best way to abuse Power Sync Stone is by putting the counter on it yourself. As soon as you put the first one on there, basically you've got the walking, talking negates on your opponent. Your opponent's not going to be able to do anything, which is... It's so devastating to see that. And that's why you see such power out of the Power Sync Stone. For that, just put it on yourself. Now your opponent actually can't do anything. All right, next up here, we have Horus Tyr Fiendsmith and Friends. Wow, okay. So we are doing the Rainbow Bridge stuff. We are maximizing on triple Horus Field Spell and triple King Sarcophagus. Holy crap. We also have the Majesty's Fiend in here as well. You want to make sure that, I guess you're deploying that and shutting down your opponent. Yeah, the power of Floodgates. You'd love to see, especially on the monster form, so you can detour your opponent. Okay, well, this is definitely cute. All right, we also have Gimmick Puppets. The fact that in order to do the Gimmick Puppet OTK now, you have to play the Bad Animation Chronicle card is really disappointing. I wanted to see how this deck would evolve, but unfortunately, once you limit, strings, the deck has to find other ways to kind of compensate for the loss of consistency. And I mean, you can still do what you need to do. It's a lot more taxing to do it. All right, we also have the Atlantean Dragoons Turbo. I do see General Ryo in here with the Ice Barrier stuff. General Ryo has turned into such a power card for this format. We've just kind of either reached the point that players need to look for other options to detour the format, or you have to find a way to kind of grind out your opponent's hand. And Ryo does that. You have so many combo extensions that having those Floodgate monsters helps out. Ooh, we have Voiceless Voice. 2 Saravis, 2 Skull Guardian. We're actually main decking the Saravis effect monster in the main deck. We are doing the Odd Eyes Pendulum monster ritual in here as well. A lot of people just have cut that. It's cute for when it comes up, but I do agree it does kind of result in like some dead stuff. Also, interesting choices for the Sky Striker package down there in the extra deck. Okay. Ooh, Noids. Still doing the transaction rollback stuff. I mean, once again, you're playing Grasswood Screener, all right? You're going to be kind of forced to play these cards because you need to not only make sure that you're generating full advantage, but, I mean, you also have the Azamina package in here as well. The fact that you're getting that free generation of value off the Azamina stuff, to put that opponent into that bad position, so good. All right. We have the Adusted Gold package in our Fiendsmith Chimera deck. Now, I've heard people in the TCG side wanting to play Fiendsmith stuff with the Adusted Gold and the Necro. I think it's a cute idea. I haven't seen any results actually pan out for the TCG side of things yet. I do believe that it is actively just a working theory for the time being, but I don't know. It really just depends, I guess, on how the deck builds are going to go forward if you're still playing Illusion Good stuff. Centurion, we are playing 2 of the level 8 in here. This is actually kind of refreshing because, we have no Whitewood stuff in here. We're not jam-packing in a lot of the extra fat. This build is just straight using the Centurion stuff to turbo through those 12s. You have double Cosmic Blazer. I do see we are playing a Baron in here. Must be nice to have access to the generic, but I think that's fine. You also do see Deck Lockdown, seeing a very interesting tech choice slot in here. Okay. Thunder Dragons with Fiendsmith. Well, we talked a lot about just the tech cards being here as like very strong upgrades and very good consistency pieces. Also, Dicer Ice being that Omni Negate while, you have a Colossus set up on the field. You're just putting your opponent into such a a terrible position with the pressure that you're generating off of these. I understand why it's so crazy. And then we have Evil Twin Fiendsmith. Well, you have that backdoor synergy, I guess, for, the fiends, considering your Link monsters are all little fiends for you to kind of continue on along with your little combo lines. I do see we are playing Triple of the Monster Reborn in here as well for the quick play. That's actually kind of cute. Once again, this is all just cute little extension ideas, just so you can put that pressure on your opponent and win the game. Wow, Yu-Gi-Oh! Is such a game in a nutshell. It's so easy to understand right now. So what do you guys think? Please leave a comment down below. Tell me what you guys think. I'll see your beautiful faces back here in a day, guys. Patrons, thank you.
Thank you so much for watching. Check out these other videos.